Welcome back. Now we want to consider the drawing media. The drawing media refers to your drawing sheet or your drawing paper or vellum or polyester film on which a drawing can be produced. So for us, it's drawing paper or drawing sheet. When selecting the drawing sheet, you need to consider some certain parameters, and one of them is the size of the objects to be drawn. The size of the edges to be drawn to be put into consideration when you are making the choice of this type of drawing sheet you want to use and the size of your drawing sheet. Also, you need to consider the drawing scale. The drawing scale is important to the size of your drawing sheet. Also, we look at the amount of additional content, such as border line, the title block, the item list, the notes, dimension, and some other information that have been necessary to adequately communicate a drawing to the end user. Also, we also look at the drafting standards that is to be used. It's very, very important in the choice of your drawing sheet. Now, here are the various sizes of a drawing sheet that we have. We have the A0 drawing sheet, A1 drawing sheet, A2 drawing sheet, A3 drawing sheet, A4 drawing sheet. The most common of these drawing sheets are the A2 drawing sheet, the A3 drawing sheet, and the A4 drawing sheet. The A4 paper is our regular A4 paper that is used in printing, uh, that is used in printing generally. Then the A3 paper is also common, and also we now have the A2 paper. If you observe that your A3 paper is twice the size of your A4 paper, while your A2 paper is twice the size of your A4 of your A3 paper. And likewise, A1 is twice the size of your A2 paper, and then A0 is twice the size of the A1 paper. For this course, we have made the choice of A2 grade paper or A2 drawing sheet, which is 420 mm on the vertical as the height and 594 mm on the horizontal. So that is the drawing media that we have adopted for this course. Also, we can see from the screen the various sizes of drawing sheet placed together. Here is the A4 paper, the A3, the A2 size, the A1 size, and the A0 size. Now, the idea of this is that when you want to draw, you need to have an adequate space on your drawing sheet. So on your drawing board rather, your drawing board should adequately accommodate your drawing sheet. There should not be any hangover of drawing sheet. That means you cannot use a small drawing board for a bigger drawing sheet. It is not appropriate, and it will not help you to have a quality and accurate drawing. Now we'll look at line work. Line work is very important to engineering drawing, and it actually depicts the quality and the accuracy of what is being drawn. Line work is the generic term given to all various techniques used in creating graphics data on technical drawing. Now, for pencil drawing, the thick lines should be approximately twice as wide as thin lines. The thick lines are expected to be your outlines, while the thin lines could be your dimension lines, uh, or it could be your other line like hidden lines. But construction lines should actually be uh, in more way far thinner than the thick lines. The standard thickness for a thick line is 0.6 mm for a thick line. That is standard thickness. The minimum for it is 0.6. And then the minimum for thin line is 0.3 mm. In some of you by now, you must have probably buy the clutch pencil. That's the refillable pencil. If you observe that the pencil they put thickness on the body of on the body of that pencil, and the thickness depicts the thickness of the pencil, of the lead pencil that is used in it. Okay, so that's why to some extent we discourage the use of the clutch pencil, because you hardly will find those with smaller thickness, and the bigger the thickness is, the more it could affect the accuracy of your work. So we prefer thickness with less. I will prefer pencil with less thickness. 0.6 mm thickness is okay, but I think we are also okay with 0.8 mm. So anything higher than that may not go well for this course. And likewise, the minimum thickness for a thin line is 0.3 mm. Okay, and you hardly could find that in the clutch pencil. That's why we will prefer that you use the regular lead pencil. I'll still come to that later and point out some things on the regular lead pencil. Now, what are the rules guiding the line work? All lines of the same type should have the same thickness throughout the drawing. All lines of the same type should have the same thickness throughout the drawing. So if we are in a drawing where you have outlines, all outlines must have the same thickness. Or you have dimension lines, all dimension lines must have the same thickness. All hidden lines must have the same thickness. And the same thing, all construction line must have the same thickness. Having different thickness for each of these lines communicates a wrong idea to the end user of the drawing, and to could make your work to be inaccurate, and also affect the quality of the drawing. Line types. We have different types of line, and first of them we have the construction line. The construction line is not usually listed as a type of line. Actually, it is very light and sets out the main shape of the object. Now, the construction line is very light, and it is expected that, if possible, it should not be feasible uh, to the uh, to the person that is looking at the drawing, because it is meant to be a construction line. Okay, it is not the outline. It is not to be seen. So that's why in this course we have made it's part of the rules that your construction line should be as light as possible. If possible, you should be the only one that should know that the line is there. It's not to say that after doing your construction line that you should clean it. If you do that, there is no way that you wouldn't know, and at the same time, it will make your work to be rough. So please, your construction line should be made as much as possible, not feasible to others. It should be very light. Then we have the thick continuous line. The thick continuous lines are feasible lines, and we are majorly used for outlines. They are majorly used for outlines. For this course, to draw your thick continuous line, it is preferred that you use an H grade pencil or an HB grade pencil. But we are cool with the H grade pencil. For the construction line, a 6H grade pencil is recommended. A 6H grade pencil is recommended for the construction line, while the thick continuous line, which is your outline, we recommend the H grade pencil, or otherwise you could use the HB pencil. Okay. We also have the thin continuous line. The thin continuous lines are used for dimension, for extension, for projection lines, for arching lines, for cross sections, for leader and references, for imaginary lines of intersection, for short centers, for diagonals indicating flat surfaces, for bending lines, and for some repetitive features. That's what we use the thin continuous line for. And to draw the thin continuous line, we recommend that you use the 4H grade pencil. The 4H grade pencil uh, is be appropriate for the thin continuous line. Also, we have thin short dash line. The thin short dash lines are used for hidden section, for hidden outlines or edges in our drawing. Okay, so The it is used for outlines or for part of the drawing that in the actual sense you cannot see, but they are there in the drawing. So you have to use the hidden outline to indicate that, and to do that you use the dash uh, continuous line. The short, sorry, the thin short dash line is used for the hidden outline. And again for this, you use your 4H grade pencil to draw the thin short dash line. Also, we have the thin continuous irregular line. The thin continuous irregular line. The thin continuous irregular line are used for limits of partial views or sections, provided the line is not an axis. Okay, uh, there are places you see this the thin continuous irregular line, but it's not actually very common in most drawing. Also, we have the thin chain line. The thin chain line, it has long and short dash line. It has long and short dash line, and they are majorly used for center lines, for lines of symmetry, for pitch circle of gears, and for pitch circles for holes. Okay, so in this course we use it for center lines, and the recommended pencil is also 4H. Use the 4H grade pencil to draw the thin chain line. Again, we have the thin chain line with thick ends and change in direction. They are used for sectioning, for for cutting planes. So when you cut uh, a plane, or you section, you cut an object into two, you use the thin chain line with thick ends uh, to indicate sectional view. Okay, we also have the thin chain line. The thin chain line are used for surfaces which have to meet special requirements. For surfaces which have to meet special requirements, you hardly find them in most drawing. Okay, we have the thin phantom line, which is long and double short dash line. They are used for alternate or extreme positions, or for moving parts, for preformed outlines, adjacent parts, for initial outlines prior to forming, and for projected tolerance zones. Again, you won't find that in most drawing. Okay, so I won't dwell so much on that. Then we have the thin continuous straight line with zigzags. These are used for limits of partial or interrupted views. Okay, so when a view or an object is actually longer than what it is it is presented on the drawing sheet, you use the thin continuous straight line with zigzags to represent that object actually is continuous. Okay, so let's look at this and look at the various line types on this figure. Okay, you can see here the dimension line. Here's the dimension line. Okay, you see also the extension line for the dimension. Also, you see the center line. This is center line joining two circles together. These are other center lines. These are other center line. Here is the phantom line. Okay, here is a cutting plane line. That's the one that has the thick uh, end. A cutting plane line. You have the chin line. Okay, so here you see the visible line, which is the outline. Here you see the section line, which has the hash line, and then here you see the short break line to show that uh, this continues, and then to refill the internal part of this place. So here are various type of lines you see in engineering drawing. Okay, you see some of the lines here. Looking at the figure, you see the extension line. You see the center line in this place. You see the phantom line, which is actually from the original shape. Okay, again you see the cutting plane line or the section line. Uh, so these are some of the lines you see in engineering drawing. All right, let's continue with our rules for drawing lines, and now we'll consider drawing hidden lines. To draw a hidden line, you begin with a dash and not with a space. You can see from here, this is the appropriate way to draw a hidden line. Start with a dash and not with a space. You can see the space here. So start with a dash and not with a space. These are very important in drawing your hidden lines. Also, dashes intersect without a gap between them. This a point of intersection of a two dash line, you can see here, and not as this. There is no space in between the intersection, no gap in between the intersection. So this is right and this is not appropriate. All these are to be followed strictly in your drawing. Three dashes meet at the intersection point. There we go. You can see the intersection point of three dashes. Okay, and this is wrong because at the intersection they are not meeting. You can see a gap at the point of intersection of these dashes. That is not appropriate. Also, as a continuation of feasible line or arc, you begin with a space. Now, when it's an hidden line, it's going to be a continuation of a feasible line or arc. That is when you start with a space before you draw the hidden line, the dash line for the hidden line. You can see in this place now, after this line, this arc, then you start, you continue, we have a space in between before you continue the hidden details. And likewise on this side, you see, after this line, since you now want to continue with the hidden details, you put a gap first, then you continue the hidden details. So this is correct, and this is wrong. The the outline of the line or the arc must not cross the line where the hidden line is supposed to begin from. Okay, and this shows that this is not starting with a dash with a gap in between, and this is inappropriate. Also, invisible arcs begin with a dash. Invisible arcs begin with a dash. Here you see, is an invisible arc. See a dash starting from this line. It does not start with a space. It does not begin with a space. So this is inappropriate. Also, small arcs must be made solid. Small arcs must be made solid. Where the arc is very small, it's better it's made a solid and then you continue the line with a dash, and you don't necessarily have to enforce a dash on the arc because you will not get an appropriate arc in that place, and also to make your work to be rough, and that also may be inaccurate. So just make the small arcs as a solid line or as an outline. Two arcs meet at the point of tangency. You can see where the point of tangency this way. The point of tangency is where two curve or a line and a curve meet at a point. Okay, we can see in this place that these two curves meet at a point. All right. So and likewise here, you see on this place, two arcs meeting at a point here, but the arc are not touching, being a dash line. That is also not appropriate. The arc are supposed to touch each other, and that's why you see here is checked as appropriate, and here is not appropriate. Okay, let's look at the rules for center lines. Center line starts with a long dash, not a short dash. Here is it. You start a center line with a long dash and not the short dash. Also, two axes intersect with longer dashes and not with the short dash. You can see the intersection here. The longer dashes intersect at the center, and here the short dash intersects at the center. The short dash intersecting at the center is not appropriate and it's wrong. So the long dash must intersect at the center. Also, you can see, look at this figure here too. The long dash for this identities must intersect at the center, not the short dash as you have on the right hand side here. Also, for this inclined and the horizontal line, you see the long dash intersecting at the center and not the short dash as indicated in this other one. This is wrong. Okay, also axis extends the boundary with a longer dash. When you are drawing an axis that extends beyond this boundary or a boundary, okay, it is a long dash that must cross the boundary, not the short dash. Okay, and the long dash must actually extend beyond the boundary, and that's what we have in this place. The long dash extending beyond the boundary, and here you see that it is not extending beyond the boundary. So this is actually wrong. Okay, that takes us back to our grade of pencil and the application. I just need to refer back to this. I've mentioned earlier the type of pencil that we are going to adopt for this course. Okay, for construction lines, we can use between 4H to 9H pencil. Okay, but in this course, we adopt a 6H grade pencil. So please note, a 6H grade pencil is preferred. All right. Then for guidelines, you use 4H to 9H pencil. The guidelines are more also like your construction lines. Okay, the guidelines are used majorly when you want to draw, write text or numbers or numerics on your drawing. Numerics are necessarily used because of dimension, and text are used because of notes and then the title block. Okay, so the guidelines are used in that case. They are more or less like the construction lines. So also we prefer that the 6H grade pencil is used for this. Okay, for your lettering is much as your outline is as good as your outline. So you use the H grade pencil for lettering. H grade pencil for lettering. For dimension lines, we have within 2H and 3H grade pencil. I know I said 4H earlier, so I think we might have to stay with the 2H grade pencil to draw our dimension lines. So we use 2H grade pencil to draw our dimension line. Then we have the leader lines. The leader lines are also as good as your dimension lines. Okay, uh, so we have to use 2H to 3H grade pencil for leader lines. So we adopt 2H pencil for this course. Then you have your hidden lines. Your hidden lines, like I mentioned earlier, they shows a part of the object that is not actually visible. So, okay, so you use uh, 2H grade pencil for that too. So we can use between 2H to 3H grade pencil, but in this course we use the 2H grade pencil. All right, then we have the crossing hatching lines. The cross hatching lines, which are also as good as your hidden lines. Okay, so we use the 2H grade pencil for the cross hatching lines. We have the phantom lines. Okay, the phantom lines we use a 2H grade pencil. The long break lines we use the 2H grade pencil as also. Now you have the visible line. Your visible line is your outline. It is the object that is actually required for you to produce. So we use the H grade pencil. I know earlier I said we use H grade or HB pencil. So the H grade pencil is preferred for that. So please use the H grade pencil. Remember I said earlier on, please avoid the use of the clutch pencil. Use the regular lead pencil. Okay, so for cutting plain lines, we use 2H to 3H grade pencil. Okay, so we use H for the thick sections of the cutting plane. For extension lines, which are for the dimension lines, we use 2H to 3H pencil. So we adopt a 2H grade pencil for this course. Then we have the free hand break lines. In this case, you can either use within the 2H to the 4H grade pencil. So we'll prefer that you use the 2H grade pencil. That brings us to the end of this section. Thank you very much for listening.